Yeah, I'll let them. But I'm gonna give you a minute though. We'll be good. Yeah. I'm with my tea. Everybody good? I said everybody good, bro. Yeah. Peace, peace, peace. Give me a second to get in here, man. Tell your friend, put the likes on, put the notifications on, man. You're gonna learn something real fast. You're gonna learn something real fast. Morals and family and true life secrets. Let me make sure yeah, that's good. Make sure I'm all together on this doohickey. Yeah. Hope everybody having an amazing day. We'll see who jumps on here. Mm-mm-mm-mm. It's gonna be very illuminating. But when I always like to tell Moors when they say they studying it and things like that, and I say, well, how do you miss the stuff that's so simple and it's right in your face? How do you miss? How can a person clearly say they studying and it's right in your face? That's why I say people get in public opinion and really not studying. Just like you got what's popular now, everybody saying they the Jews and this and that and the other. But what about you ain't going around saying that you the Egyptian when the one saying they gypsies? When the text says black like the Egyptians or black like gypsy, you ain't argue with nobody with that. Don't y'all know, man? Writing this little small little book, 100 and amazing facts about the Negro by J.A. Rogers. It's a whole chapter in here. Jews and Ethiopians. So you're gonna give it a second, man. I'm gonna give it about 4 more minutes, and I'm just gonna narrate that part. It's been in there since the book been out, so I don't know why people act like something just been put in there. So I just give it a second, and we'll narrate it, and we out. Won't even take long. This easy work. I don't know why we sit up and be arguing when all the science, all the scholars, when I talk about peer review, it all agree. These brothers are making a mockery and a laughing stock out of themselves. I mean, all this conscious community stuff that people be following, like it's a super, super joke. And then they always talk about like Dr. Ben. They'll try to say stuff like, Dr. Ben was my teacher, and talk about John Henry Clark, Sheikh Anta Diop, that all agree. And then these Negroes try to talk about they some Egyptologists and then start quoting European pseudo-academia like Zachariah Stitchin. We already done proved this globe is big. And you the copper colored races already proved. I don't understand why we still be trying to debunk shit. And I'm like, what is there to debunk? And it's everything that I be saying in your so-called, if they call themselves some Egyptologists and they all talk about they did with the Kemetic, then I just show how in the hieroglyphics when you got the Torah in the hieroglyphics. I just broke that down. I just broke it down. I just broke this down. So when these brothers talk about the hieroglyphics and what's not in there, it all synchronized. All our elders done the work. And then we got brothers today that discredit work. And I said, how can you say Dr. Ben and all these people, your elders, and you try to diss everything else? Talk about some comedic shit. That's sad. That's sad. And clearly most people haven't been over this globe. Clearly people ain't ancient. Okay, then what about the Zulu? What about Credo Matua? What about Sheikh Bamboo Fall? What about all the Mordines? Like this, hold on, let me see. I got something real fast. What about the Mordine? What about Credo Matua from the Zulu? I want to start pulling out all my stuff, but what about that? When somebody be talking about one thing and put everybody in a box, I said, dude, we so tittle in our understanding, so tittle in our understanding, so tittle that we are just act like Crips and Bloods. And I said, the only thing people be doing is making themselves look stupid. That's it. These people, these dropouts, really be thinking they be doing something. And I say, dude, you only thing you doing is talking. So watch this. The Jews and Ethiopians. If you want to discredit J.A. Rogers, go ahead. The Quran reads, and Moses drew forth his hand out of his bosom, and behold, it appeared white unto the spectators. Right? Page 128. And put the right hand under thy left arm, it shall come forth white. That's in the Seli Al Quran, page 257, 1784. Read it. Read it. With these people just be talking. Sale asks, there is a tradition that Moses was a very swarty man. Swarty. We know what swarty consists of. Page 128. Sir T.W. Arnold says, I'm giving you reference. I'm giving you all reference so you can quote and research exactly what I'm saying. So you don't say, was she just talking? He said, no. Do some research and see. And then I even got into ancient texts how to make all these brothers that's trying to discredit things sit down. For when I pull out the whole Egyptian manual and show them that what they reading you is all made up. I'm telling you. And when you quote some pseudo academia, no disrespect again, by pseudo Zachariah Stitchin, your whole conversation should be done. Sir T.W. Arner says, according to Mohammedan tradition, Moses was a black man. The Preaching of Islam, page 106. Westminster, 1896. The Vulgate. Y'all know the Vulgate Bible? The Vulgate. And the modern Bible says that Moses' hand was leprous as snow. But the Septuagint Bible, which is, they say, the oldest translation, because it had to be transliterated. I don't say translated, I say transliterated. It said Moses' hand was leprous as snow. But the Septuagint Bible, which is the so-called oldest tradition or translation, dating to what they say 150 BC, accords with the Quran, or it agrees with the Quran. The Septuagint says that Moses' hand became as snow, and that when he placed it in his bosom the second time, it was restored to the complexion of the other flesh. That's in Exodus. Here is the clearest possible inference that the miracle lay in turning and I'm just using black as reference, a black skin white, and then changing it to black again. And then you can find similar references on this subject. The argument so often made that Miriam's objection to Moses' Ethiopian wife was of color. That's wrong. There was no color prejudice then. I'm telling you, at first, it was no color prejudice. And that's how they try to get us with that color shit. I said, dude, see how they gonna trick with that tricknology and say it's a color prejudice? No, that ain't even it. It wasn't no color thing back then. You know it, I know it. All first century writers tell you it wasn't nothing with no color difference. You know, there was no color prejudice then. Besides, the Jews at that time were also colored. Miriam's objection must have been a national or tribal one, the same as exists among the Negroes of the West African coast now, and among the Jews themselves in India. Tacticus says, many again say that they, the Jews, were a race of Ethiopian origin. That's book 5, chapter 2. F. Ratzel, F-R-A-T-Z-L says, the entire Semitic and Hamitic population of Africa was a mulatto character, which extends to the Semites outside of Africa. History of Mankind, Volume 2, page 246. M. Fishberg, a leading Jewish authority, says, contrary to generally accepted theory that they, the Jews, have maintained their racial purity from centuries, research by modern anthropological methods has shown that the physical type of the Jews bears a striking resemblance to the ethnic types encountered in indigenous races and peoples among whom they happen to live. North Africa, Jews, page 1, New York, 1906. That is to say that in the black man's land, the Jews is black. In the brown man's land, brown, and in the white man's land, white. Point freaking blank. You understand what I'm saying? Stay in context, please. Fishberg gives abundant illustration of this picture. For the Negro Jews, see his book, The Jew, page 120 and 134 of this by pictures. I hope y'all got it. I have them. For the Negro Jew, see his book, The Jew, pages 120, 134, page 146, page 149, 174, 178, and page 181. F. Hurt says, in China, the Jews are hardly to be distinguished from the Chinese. In Africa, they look like the Negro. Abraham came from Ur of the Chaldees, Genesis 11 and 31. Godfrey Higgins, a careful and reliable English antiquary, says, the Chaldees were originally Negroes. Anacapulus, volume 2, page 364, New York, 1927. For the number of Jews who entered and left Egypt, see Genesis 46:27 and Exodus 12 and 37. For the number of years in Egypt, Exodus 12 and 40. As regard to the Negro's origin of the Jew, Count Adam Gurowski of Poland says, number of Jews have the greatest resemblance to the American mulattoes. Sallow, carnation complexion, thick lips, crisp black hair. Of all the Jewish population scattered over the globe, one-fourth dwell in Poland. I am therefore well acquainted with their features. On my arrival in this country, the United States, I took every light-colored mulatto for a Jew. That's why I know Europeans that they say, I ain't a Jew. You don't know a Jew from looking at them. That's why I be telling these Negroes. I said every melanated person don't say they know Jew. That's why I be saying, man, Jew ain't even know that. You got to understand and really sit down to get a clear understanding. American and Europe, page 117, New York, 1857. Sir H. Johnston attributes much of the prejudice against the Jews to the latter's Negro origin. He says, in the Jew, as in the Egyptian and the Moor, there is a varying but still discernible element of the Negro, derived in this case of the Jew from the strong infusion of the Elamite blood, and in the case of the Moor from the obvious connection with the Negro. World position of the Negro and Negroid in G. Speller, Universal Races, Congress, page 330, London, 1911. But this viewpoint is wrong. There is very little or no prejudice against the Negro in Europe, outside of England. In Vienna, the darkest Negroes are welcome in places from which the fairest Jews is barred. Moreover, this opposition against the Jew is to be found even in the black and brown men's land. Algeria was recently the scene of much anti-Jewish rioting. This is when the writer wrote, stay in context. For the classing together of Jew and Ethiopia, see Amos 9 and 7. For a discussion at length of the Egyptian and Ethiopian origin of the Jews, see Gerald Massey, A Book of the Beginnings. Now you see how in this book it's quoting Gerald Massey, The Book of Beginnings. My dad called me the other night, was like, son, The Book of the Beginnings. I said, yeah, he didn't want to wrote the mystical Jesus Christ. And I use things for study. I tell people, man, I do scholarship. I'm not here to debate no one. Argue with the first century. I ain't here to argue with nobody. Volume 2. Page 364, 441, London, 1881. 1881. 1881. Also see chapter where the Jews originally Negroes, pages 91 and 95. In this other book by J.A. Rogers, A Sex and Race, Volume 1, My Nobles Got It. This was in 1941. Fishberg says that the Phalasha Jews, they are of the Negro type, the large lips, the prognathnism, and frizzy hair. All point to the Negro origin. The Jews, page 147. I have seen the Phalashas in Abyssinia, and the Negro Jews in Egypt and the Sudan. West Africa had black Jews also. H. Norden says, of the Abyssinian Jews, my stand among them carried something of the quality of interest and excitement of the imagination with the sight of things excavated after after centuries of burial. It formed a bridge from the present to the past. Biblical chronicles were no longer, to me, merely ancient religious history. They became the record of the life of a people not unlike the Phalashas. Chapter Among the Black Jews in Africa, Last Empire, page 208. Ruth in Ethiopia. Excuse me. I visited the Phalasha school established by Dr. Fethlovich. The boys were all jet black with woolly hair. For the Jewish conquest in Abyssinia, see L.J. Morie, Mori, History D.L. Ethiopia, Volume 2, page 181 and 183, in Paris, 1904. And Africa Society Journal, Volume 28, page 60. I'm giving you all reference. The black Jews of India are kept at a respectable distance and not permitted to enter the synagogues of the whites, nor do they bury their dead in the same cemetery. Just like the so-called Masons, the damn Prince Hall Masons, the Scottish Rite and all them other European Mason groups, they don't deal with you. But they all dead because they all 32 and 33 degrees. M. Fisher, The Jew, page 134. Isaac I. A. Cocken, Jews, 1917. See? I mean, here it is. And then Gerald Massey says of Imhotep, the child Christ remained a sterilely bejeweled blackamoor as the typical healer in Rome. And I'm not even going to go all in it. I just want to give you that little piece of science. You know, just to make you think. It's so much. That's why I be asking more. Do they be reading? Or do they just want to be collecting books? And I said, after you done read the book, then what? What have your life changed? What are you doing? What are you teaching your kids? Because I keep telling people, most of these people on the internet want notoriety, want to be known, want to be the only one. I said that ain't it. If you're a scholar, you're an educator, go amongst the highways and byways. Get your scholarship. They say they educated and all this, but then that's trash. All that. If you just a street scholar, then so say that. But don't diss those that went to academia and find a way, and then other people go in debt for other things. But then you will hate on the person that has academia and just as righteous as you are, and able to go in places and do certain things that you can't do because you're not affiliated with these certain organizations, or even have the background to go, and have you have the background for people to ask you to come. Where you don't have to ask, where college students ask you to come lecture on college campuses. We don't have to beg and say what somebody says somebody should be doing. That's why I don't hate on nobody. If whatever a person should be doing is what they doing. That's what a person should be doing. Nobody need to be collecting on money and say, well, support me or I can go do this and do that. No, teach classes. You have books, you do books, you sell books, you a spiritual leader, you do it the right way. You have companies. That's what it's about. But it ain't trying to belittle nobody. People will wake up in their due time. If they caught up in the rapture, that's what they like. But I don't have time to be arguing with nobody because this world is huge, and we got people all over this globe before you and me. Then we were the more before Noble Ali. Okay, then what about Deuce Muhammad? Do any more know who Deuce Muhammad is? He was before the prophet. What about Abdul Hamid Solomon? What about all that? And then when Morris, we talk about changing their name. Noble Drew Ali name was Timothy Drew Ali. He annexed his Ali suffix to his name. Drew Ali. His last name is Drew. Just like my last name is Goodman. If somebody would say, hey, man, that's Noble Goodman Bey. Just like they say, man, that's Noble Drew Ali. What? And in Arabic, I have an Arabic name. Nothing changes. That's why I be saying I don't get it. Your name exudes from who you are. Your name is given to you from what you exude. Just like when I talk about Credo Matua in the Zulu, an educator that can teach mathematics, arithmetic, read science, finances, language, linguistics, and can teach, and a spiritual leader, you come back in the hood and be a medicine man, the Zulu, the rabbi, the royal priest. Just like in Ethiopia with Haile Selassie, when he sent those Ethiopian brothers to the States to educate themselves, they went back to their homeland to build. We use our brain. We ain't out here begging and doing no goofy shit. We are masons of the mind. We use this mind. And I ask these brothers, what you want your children to aspire to? What you want? You don't want your children to be masterminds and be able to use their brain and be able to stand strong and erect and know who they are and be able to talk with confidence, with pride, and know all language, know all science, love reading, love writing, love biology, love microeconomics, love macroeconomics, love being self-sufficient, love being self-disciplined. Understanding all that, understanding about your body is your temple, understanding about putting the right thing in the system at the right time, understanding how to live, understanding when people say, oh man, genes ain't got nothing to do with it. I have people in my family that died and at young ages, this and that, heart attacks, all that. Man, it's about you. It's about what you do. It's about how we operate, and we can do this. Because clearly, what I'm displaying is people is not studying. They playing Crips and Bloods. They gang banging on you because they know you don't know. Just like I broke down the one word Tartarians the other day. Okay, that's a whole group of ancient people. So then somebody that's gonna say you a damn Egyptian. Then I just showed you Credo Matua. Then I show you in the Zulu. Then I take you all around the globe, ancient time, to be like, this world is big. But you're gonna let somebody dish your heritage and your culture? That's crazy. Our own people. That to me and the biblical scriptures talk about both of y'all. It clearly does the connection. You ain't reading. Mizraim in the Bible is Egypt. You clearly ain't reading. Clearly, it said the Egyptian attire and the so-called Jew attire, they wore one wore silk, one wore cotton, one had the so-called beard, one had the whole beard. I mean, come on, man. Egypt, and I showed y'all the ground plan for Louisiana Purchase, where Morocco and Jerusalem is freaking walking distance. These is big facts. I show this. I showed the Negro question, 4 volumes, and show all this connection. Man, these brothers is looking stupid. They could not take that nowhere. You couldn't get that information from none of them and have your son do research from college and do their oral and written dissertation. They are flunk with flying colors. They'll flunk with flying colors. They'll be like, this ain't, they'll say this is poorly researched. You wouldn't even find no reference to that trash. All you will be doing is say somebody said it, and then you can't prove it. It's not old enough. It don't even connect. They're not even connecting the synonym. They're not even connecting words. I say, don't you know this word mean this word mean this is the same. These are synonyms. These are the same. Connection. What are you tripping on? So when you're in a tribe of an area, you think you just married your sisters? Or you think you just married your sister. So if you're in an area, a continent area, and you got the Bantu, Yoruba, or Zulu with all these different people, melody, you're going to go around and say, well, we all the Egyptians. Hey, I get where you at in the continent of Africa, per se. I get where you at if you in the continent of Africa, per se. I get where you at if you in the continent of Africa, per se. Man, I'll start showing y'all all our stuff from my brothers in prison. If any of my multis on here, they know I ain't lying. I'll start showing y'all all my stuff from brothers in prison. Like, hit me up with SOSs. Like, she, man, these brothers here, woo. I just watched your lecture from No One Man Can Nationalize You. And he's like, I've been sober, I just couldn't believe it. This, not how you make it so simple. And these brothers lie. I said, well, what you mean? I keep telling people. I've been saying it for the longest and the longest. I said, these people, what they doing, they only gonna do this to you. They're only going to try to sell you something, some paper. What do paper mean? Nothing. Noah Jurali ain't taught about no status correction or no expatulating from no de facto government. When you expatulate from no de facto government, tell me who you have allegiance with. I'll wait. And you still live in the same neighborhood what you grew up in with your mama when you was a kid. How you a foreign national? Tell me how. Tell me how you a foreign national with somebody you met on the internet. You can't even make no sense with that. And then tell me, why would you give somebody your social security number on the internet? You cannot even explain that with no sense. You can't. You can't even tell me why it makes some sense you want to go down to the DMV and the next L on your driver's license. You can't even give me a good explanation of that. Just some shit you heard. You can't even explain, I want to go correct my birth certificate. And I said, see, your language is all wrong. Your language will get you in trouble. And that's what I be telling people about the language. Every science have a language. You don't want to learn? Don't make me a difference. But I bet you everything I say, what happens, happens. Ask all my muftis. They be like, yep. Why? Because you breaking the law. I ask them more. They go to work, I can't wear my fez at work. I say, so you don't know the precedent in law cases, the DOC number, the Free Information Act. They say you can wear your fez at work, at job, and in the military. Just if you're working with heavy machinery, you can't wear a tassel because they don't want your tassel to get caught up. See, we be worried about so much other stuff and won't admit you got that stuff off the internet and won't admit who you got it from. And then blame all that on Noble Jurali, and I show everybody how the temple is set up. I tell Morris clearly, the 101099 is not no goofy trust fund at the end of the rainbow. That's a religious affidavit that can be looked up in the CCRD. That's the County Clerk Recorder of Deeds for a small fee. Matter of fact, you don't even have to pay a small fee. You could get the damn document for me. Don't make me no difference. You can get the consulate, how the temple was set up. And I show you, don't get caught up in people, because people, they can't lie on the prophet. When they put the information out, it got to be valid. But a lot of them brothers went to jail for tax evasion, all that fake stuff. I'm telling you. No one can nationality. See, they'll hold up exhumed of the nation. And I say, well, you're going to hold up a exhumed of the nation and won't read the right in the introduction in the preface because it's burning in your fingertips. Because right in the introduction, it tell you that nobody, no man, no temple, no God, man can nationalize you or denationalize you. It'll change you from the deceded nature of your foremothers and forefathers. If they can nationalize you, tell them to go nationalize the Sudanese, the Chinese. Tell them to go do that. But they're going to say they can do that for you. Then they're going to tell you to go get some C notes and go write to Provost Marshal so you can get walked out your job. See, I'm telling you what I know, big facts. These people out here playing. And I said, see, dude, when I talk about the religious rights or what you mean, so you don't know what the religious rights of an indigenous people, when you have the right of a tribal leader, the right to not to assimilate, the right for your culture, the right of your education, the right to use public information, etc. Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15, House Joint Resolution 75, SM 180 form pertaining to ethnicity. All these tribal proclaim and declare and have due process. What that consists of: annexing your L and Bay to your name, When you're signing, when you do it on that annexation, your LMB to your name lawfully. But we be getting all caught up in the internet, thinking, oh, I'm going to do a status correction. I say, well, your language is wrong. If I were the judge, referee, whatever you want to call it, I'm locking you up for 72 hours from contempt of court. Then I'm going to tell you what happened to you. Fraudulent conceal. And I'm going to say, go tell your crew or your goddamn religious fucking dumb court that they done catch you caught up in some fucking fraudulent concealment. Because if you would have known all the information at hand, what you doing, no freaking way, you would have did what you doing. I would have gave you all the ammunition to put out your gun, not only to shoot at nobody, but to defend yourself if they keep coming with that shit. I'm talking verbally gun. I shoot from the lip, not the hip, so stay in context. You already know, and you'll already be able to speak from confidence when that bullshit comes. When these goofy people you meet on the internet talk about they can nationalize you, they can make you some goofy ass international travel ID. Male or female. I don't care if you're a male or female. I ain't gonna say names, all of them. So I'm going to say I don't have nothing else for the people. I just taught you the Ethiopian I drew from J.A. Rogers when people had this, and I'm like, man, one of my students at college was like, well, would you talk about it, please? Because all them brothers I see on the internet be arguing, and it be right there, all the stuff. And then I say, well, what about the Morton dime? What about the past of Sheikh Ibrahim Falls? And then what about Credo Matua? What about the Black Hitler of Harlem? What about Clarence X? And I'm just getting modern. Hell, but then I need to get into our educators. It'd be too much. It'd just be too much. What about the book I showed you, The Chosen Ones, with the Moor Zionist Temple of the Moor Jews? So we're gonna diss everybody culture. That to me, it doesn't make sense. And none of this stuff people doing, no temple done. I ask everybody, if you think the Moorish Science Temple of America does that, because I'm through the temple. If the Moorish Science Temple would have came to me with this crap, y'all, and look in my eye. Matter of fact, let me take my glasses off. Let me say it just like this. For anybody on here to know I ain't playing. If them Negroes would have came to me with that goofy stuff, talk about they need my social security number and all that, and please. I said, what you finna do? What you gonna do with these people's social security number? Your idea for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequences. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these orders are violated, justice must then take its course. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Your ID, your temple ID is for the temple. Your travel ID is for the temple. And your tax ID is for the temple. It don't replace nothing. Don't replace nothing. Your ideas for your salvation. When the prophet says stop flashing your cards at Europeans, it causes confusion. What the fuck you think he talked about? When all these people be getting, excuse my candor, I didn't mean to curse. But when these people get pulled over and the first thing they say is they not a citizen, they a foreign national. Don't you know in certain states, if you don't understand restrictions in the law, that's a crime. That's a federal crime. When you doing any mail fraud, that's a federal crime. When you talk about anything overthrowing the government, that's a fucking federal crime. I asked all these brothers, watch all these little crime shows. They're gonna put it in the the TV show. Well, the CSI, when the Europeans talk about they were some sovereign citizens and they don't go and they don't have to have licenses and all that. And these Moors doing the same thing. Pull it up on YouTube. Europeans, Albions got so many videos of, they call them the more sovereign citizens. And then they call the Europeans doing it just sovereign citizens. So what makes you special if you're a so-called more sovereign citizen? And here it is, here go a European Albion sovereign citizen, and you'll be locked up next to them doing the same criminal shit. So what makes you think what you're doing is any bit of righteous? And then you spill out your mouth that you're not an American citizen, you're a foreign national. So tell me how you're a foreign national. Please. Tell me how you a foreign national with no allegiance to no damn other state, country, no other jurisdiction internationally. Tell me. And don't say no bullshit you got out there with no bylaws. Talk about what makes you a Moorish American. Because what makes you a Moorish American, because you was born your goofy ass here in America with Moroccan descent. Just like say if your family, your aunt was born somewhere in your ass, and you Americans, you got descent. Or you got Moroccan descent, but you an American. You ain't never left from here. You ain't never been nowhere. You only been in the facilities of your neighborhood, and you know that. And you don't have dual citizenship. You don't. And if you did have dual citizenship, why would you think a group of people you met on the internet can make a plate? And then what you think Noble Drew Ali have to do with international stuff then with dual citizenship? Why you think a plate with Noble Drew Ali on is like this means some shit? Answer that question and talk about and say that's a foreign national plate. That ain't no motherfucking foreign national plate. No, with you, ain't got nothing to do with you being a foreign national. If you're a foreign national, that plate you got is cosmetic. Why? Let me tell you why. Because if it's a foreign national plate for a group of people with a consulate and all that, it'll only be one. You got a motherfucker, a red, you got a white and black one with no withdrawal on this, like this. You got some Negroes with a red and black one with that goofy ass map that you could get on a shirt and all that, with all that shit. And then you got Negroes paying $500 for a stack of goddamn paper that I burn up for goddamn firewood, a fire just to keep the goddamn dogs warm. Then they getting some Zodiac law talking about they gonna use this in court. And I say, man, you gonna look like you're retarded in court with that. Some Zodiac stuff, some CM-based stuff. And I said, dude, I don't mean to discredit nobody because I ain't here to do that. If you was going in the court of law, you would want me to defend you. You would want me in your best interest because I'm gonna give you all the precedent and law cases, the doc number, the Free Information Act. I'm gonna make that goddamn referee, that judge, defend you in what already been happening. He ain't gonna use you for no example. And then how I am, I'm speaking language pro for quo. I'm up in there already making deals. I'm telling you the facts. And what happens? Brothers still be using this. Man, no, these people, when you attach these letters to your name and say you graduated from these academias and all that, it's not hard to look up. It ain't hard to look me up in the archives at Clear University. You can look Kareem Goodman Bay in the documents at Clear University and see that I graduated. If I'm on here saying that, you can look me up at Grand Canyon and see that I get my dual master's degree. That ain't hard. That's very, very simple. So when these brothers that's done passed and these people be spread lies saying, and they coming up with this, man, I told people years ago, a registry in the Library of Congress don't mean nothing. Man, Nas' album is registered in the Library of Congress. I'm gonna show you how my book I'm finishing off, it's almost done. I'm gonna register in the Library of Congress because it's gonna be historical. I'm putting it together. And it would be able to be registered in the Library of Congress. And just like when you get a book, just like the ISBN number, it's like the book's social security number per se. And I told people a long time ago, that document, that Zodiac, that CMA is not no law paper. The CMA wasn't no lawgiver. So why would you think some document that somebody got registered in the Library of Congress, you could take and use for court, like you finna use that to get out of jail? Why would you think that? That holds no water. I told y'all the consular courts the truth of it. If a U.S. citizen kill a Moor, or vice versa, if a Moor kill a U.S. citizen, that Moor want to be judged in the same parameters as that U.S. citizen. Big facts. It ain't nothing else to talk about. More than above no law. This ain't no biblical time you finna run back to your mama's country or no goofy ass shit like that. I'm telling you, man, these brothers out here are acting like domestic terrorists. And I showed y'all the domestic terrorists for 2022. It's getting ready to come out again. Anytime you're on the internet, you talk about overthrow the government, you looked at as a domestic terrorist. I done told these Negroes all this. I told them sovereign citizenship, all that shit. You looked out as a militia. I told people this years ago. You can say what you ain't all you want to, but your actions speak louder than your words. Your acting, you're not doing, you're doing. And now you're getting ready to go to court by jury. And I told people, man, all this stuff they doing is not more science. I'll say what I'm saying on the corner with a bullhorn. You can put me in an area where don't nobody look like me. I'm going to teach the same way. I'm going to educate the same way. I'm going to walk, I'm going to talk the same way. Because what I speak what's law. I don't speak nothing biased. There's no way. How can I speak some bias and I'm dealing with peer-reviewed scholarship and then I'm dealing with the historical matter of any biblical text, especially with this spirituality, especially with this Jew or this Egypt thing and all that, and I'm dealing with science that'll trump all of it. When we want to act like we want to promote a religious aspect, when I say more science, it's not a religious aspect. More science is understanding the triple rose, the Paraclete, the Fatimid, right? The so-called Jerusalem, the Christian right, understanding that. That's in more science. And then the IDMR, my background, peace be among one of my elders, Henry Clifford Kinley. I study IDMR, will show you that man is made in the image of Elohim. Man is made in the image of Elohim, and it's nothing outside yourself in IDMR, in this metaphysical aspect, what I'm saying. And as I'm teaching Sunday, I'm building up the perfect man. I'm giving all the Gnostic science of the biblical scriptures where it can't be biased to anyone because I'm building up your body. I'm building up the man, which the Bible talks about. That's the gnosis or the genesis of this biblical scripture. Building up the body, showing you everything in the physical body symbolize the tabernacle built without hands. Everything that's inside. And I've been breaking it down body part from body part, esoterically, exoterically, breaking down all parts of the system, showing you how it functions and it relate to the spiritual tabernacle. Showing this connection that's making it unbiased. I know who I am. You know who you are. But I ain't tripping on people that's under this science by faith. Because, you can say you're the chosen one and still do the bullshit. And then that's going to make you okay. And then you will deal with people that accept the science, that don't look like you. And they under the cloth and they under the science and they chosen and they wanted to rock with you by faith and understanding. And you got people that look like you, that call themselves chosen, and they won't even willingly come. And you're going to diss somebody that don't look like you, that's willingly come, that I teach with no problem, that get all the literature from me, that don't mind calling me rabbi, that don't mind calling me elder, that don't mind. And don't look like me. So I don't have a problem with nobody going under the standing, under faith, understanding. I don't have a problem with that. If you say who you are, just be that. But that don't have to mean you got to throw darts, because I can get more good stuff with the true teachings, with the word, and put it in your face and say, okay, now what? Not saying I'm better, because it ain't about I'm better. It's about this is who I am. This is who my people are. We have a nationality and a spirituality. We understand this faith we under. That's why I say if you are more, we understand this science, we understand this culturalness, we all of that. We the Hebrew, we the Egyptian, we the Jew, we all that. We all that. I don't diss my Twahido brothers and sisters. I don't diss nobody. That's how I'm able to go in plenty of houses and be who I am and be a Moorish rabbi. Oh, I bet you, but we okay with Wentworth Matthews and them, and I showed y'all the book, The Chosen Ones, the Moorish Zionist Temple of the Jews, and everybody be see, and then when your brother is exhuming that, when your brother has the talent on, our Jewish talent on, when I have my yarmulke on consistently, when I wear all our headdresses, when I teach, I'm anointed and consecrated. There's no reason. Check out, like we on Instagram, check out our Instagram page out, Burning Bush Tabernacle. Moorish Haberdasher. We should be doing things together. We got a lot to offer. Man, I help people set up their business, get their EIN, articles of organization, show you how to get quick 30 accounts. Then I show you how to build your business credit, take you out of public and put it in private, show you how to use a part of your house as your office, and show you in a year as you registered on a Duns and Bradstreet and you doing the strategy, the basic stuff, what you would be doing to build your business credit, because you're doing it already. Once I break it down, I ain't gonna tell you, but once you doing it already, look up in a year, your business credit is through the roof. Then you take everything out of public and put it in your private business, and then your vehicles and things can be transferred to your business. All your bills that you're doing at home should be registered in your business. Everything, my phone, insurance, everything, trips, everything, business. All your companies, all your quick 30 accounts in your business. And when you get your articles of organization, you open an account with your business. And you use that as well, along with your quick 30 accounts. You finance yourself, just like you buying anything else. So you look up in a year and your business line of credit is through the roof. And so with that being said, man, I love y'all. I just wanted to share a little bit with everybody. Man, if y'all like the teachings, gratitude. I don't ask for donation, but if you like to give a donation, it's Cash App $KGBay. Because I'd rather you give a donation and come to class. We have a DAP class in Sunday school every Sunday where I teach and you can learn. And then if you want literature, the literature that I lecture on, I give it for small donations. We getting this donor petition out, pledge, where Morris can donate $40 a month. And we'll send you ancient literature. Each month, you will have access to the teachings. And if you're really serious about it, man, you will see all the workout classes we do, all the business classes we do. But for your $40 donation each month, you will get literature to build your whole library up in a year. And you have access to view certain lectures in that month for just a small $40 donation. So with that being said, man, I love y'all, man. And I give gratitude for y'all taking y'all time out today. The book that we talked about today was 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro. If you got it, read that chapter. If you don't got it, excuse my language, but if you don't have it, I'll give it to you for a small donation. Whatever it costs on Amazon, I'll give it to you cheaper than that. And you can go to Office Max and Staples, and they'll print it and buy the book like so. I'll show you. They'll print the book and bind it like so. This just a big man. This is one of my Egyptian manuals I was talking about. And they'll print and bind every book. And I have all expensive books just like this. I used to bind them myself with people, but I just got tired of Moors being cheap and trying to hustle their own people. So I just said, hell, they go to Amazon where all the college students and everybody else deal with me. And I have no problem with no one don't want to deal with me. I get it. But like I say, all the books in science, if you say you're a Moor, I just don't see why you would deal with a Moor and get the books for way cheaper and go to Office Max or Staples and print them and have them downloaded on your tablet. So when you're traveling, you can have books at all time. And it becomes an NFT, which is electric, which is digital real estate. What I mean, you can sell that same book over and over and over. It becomes real estate. You can print it if people into it like you, because you should be around people that's into it like you. I love you too, Brian. You know that, man. You know I love my brothers and sisters, man. I give gratitude. And I believe that's what we should do. I have a plethora of everything. Just like I just lectured the One World Tartarians. I had 5 European students, was like, man, well, I'd rather get the book from you. They're like, they don't care about how much it costs from Amazon. They're going to have the book PDF still. So as they on campus talking about the stuff, sharing the history that I'm sharing, like amazed with the historicalness of it as I'm connecting it, where no one's arguing, they have it as a PDF and able to print it over and over and over. You go buy a book from Amazon, then that's it. Just like Exile of the Nation, just like all these expensive books we've been printing, just like Russian Icon by Vladimir Ivanov. I'm waiting for my nobles to send me my printed book. Somebody's supposed to be doing it. And one of the books that's like $500-$600, Melanin, the Chemical Element of Black People. Y'all saw Dr. Ali, he lectured that. That book like $500 on Amazon. We have it, and we print them for Moors. We did the whole lecture on it. It's no reason Moors shouldn't be getting their information from us and building their library and teaching their kids and being part of the book club and coming to Sunday school and spreading it with their friends. I mean, I'm not afraid to talk about finances because I know it takes finances. And I wear a business hat. We have to talk about finances in our community. Why we can't talk about gross and net and profit and being electric and understand about being tax exempt for the federal government and being able to be tax exempt, religious, charitable, scientifically, educational wise. We can have things and sell things and ask for donations. We can do a thing certain way. Where each noble in my area, man, I should be traveling, doing lectures, teaching the people, teaching the kids everywhere. It's no stagnation or it's no ego with me. If I'm teaching Europeans, the only reason why my heart be sad is because I'm teaching them. Just like you go to work, just like people choose to go to work and do dead jobs, just like people choose to do stuff that bring harm to them and it ain't doing them no good. I say, man, this is my profession. If you put me on Mars and they wanted to study and be educators and learn spirituality, that's who I would be. I have to be dealing with the Martians. That's why I say I will go anywhere it takes for people to deal like with me. And sometimes it ain't this color. I tell people this all day. I'm in Arizona. Most people that deal with me and deal with my services don't look like me. All the people I deal with, all the cars, the people I be helping get vehicles, all the kids that I help get in Grand Canyon University and help them with paperwork and then help them write an APA format and help them graduate. And their parents be asking me to help them set up their businesses. All the people I done helped set up businesses, over 100 people, I can count on one hand how many more as I help. And they be on the internet getting hustled. Talking about, I met somebody said they're going to register me on Duzzer Bradstreet for $4,000. They're going to give me a business line of credit and register. I said, how? I said, that don't even make sense. I said, you shouldn't even want to do that. If you have a business, yes, then I'm going to show you how to set up your business the right way. I'm going to show you how to start making purchases, any purchase for your business in your business name. I'm going to show you how to get your articles of organization, show you what quick 30 accounts, show you all these things. And then if you have a business, I'm going to pass you over to my noble Alonzo Bay at ALO Designs, and he's going to work and he's going to see what you want to do with your web page because he's the best in the business with graphics and designs. And that's why, you know what I mean? I just be sometimes like, damn. I be seeing all these tic-tac brothers, baby, acting like they know real estate and finances. I say, you can't learn that off no tic-tac video. Like that stuff don't even be true. I said, these people don't have no land, what they telling you to go get and all this. I said, these people don't even have land to say they have for sure. You'll look them up, they say, where your land at, sir? You can't even find it. All the stuff that they be doing is all internet and fake. We real. Me and my muftis, it ain't a lot yet. We got 10 acres. We getting ready to get 40 acres with my tribe. I got 40 acres with my family a long time ago when I first started trying to teach the Moors. And I tried to bring people in on the 40 acres that I already had. I showed Moors. Me and my empress, we spent our money on it. We was like, babe, we ain't getting no new cars. We're going to see if Moors was interested in doing something major. Moors was on some bullshit. I ended up flipping it. I ended up flipping that shit. I ended up flipping it. Just like I showed my muftis the other day. I showed them the website. I said, dude, this shit is like a used car. I don't keep wasting my time. I tell people I'm going to be gone real soon. Where? On my own land. This is what we building to aspire to have our own infrastructure, not to ride around in no car or travel all over it and just want to be like better than somebody else. If we traveling, we traveling for education. We traveling to museums. I don't need to go talk to, man, dude, what's already understood. I don't even need to go there. We're teaching our children. I don't have the energy to try to teach an old dog. And old dogs can learn tricks. It's just not, how can I say, often. It just now, and here go the Noble just hit me up. Hold on, that's in prison. I'm sorry, hold on, what did he say? He said, I'm currently at Randolph Correctional Center in Harrisburg, North Carolina right now. I didn't even know anything about Moorish science until I came to the prison, and it helped me realize why I couldn't understand Christianity the way I wanted to. I want to learn as much as possible right away. Randolph Correctional Facility. This is brother hit me up for Randolph Correctional Facility right now. I told y'all, man, listen. And the brother like, man, he like, man, Moorish science helping me understand this Christianity so-called aspect. He was like, Sheikh, thank you. And I want to learn if you can help my children want to write me if I can, talk to his family. He like, man, they confused. And he said they be sharing my lectures in the prisons. But I asked him what prison he in because I'm going to go to it. I'm going to show y'all. I go to prisons. When I go back home to Flint, Michigan, I go to Thumb Correctional Facility. I done been in there. Man, I used to know the chaplain in the prison, and nobody would go see these prisoners. I don't care if they were Christian, Muslims, Islam, whatever. But when they saw me coming in there as a sheep, they're like, well, what's that? I said, Moorish science. I said, I can talk to anybody. And that's what I do. I have all type of people helping me. Professors, everything. Ain't no bias with me. If you're a prophet and an angel, just like when I showed y'all Lavelle Goodard, the European, and he gave credit to who? The Ethiopian rabbi. I showed y'all in the book, The Chosen One. I talk about this stuff all the time. I say, man, hell, I'm not going to argue with nobody. The creator made the bluebird, the blackbird, pigeons, the damn black bear, the polar bear, the koala, the grizzly bear. You, me, all that. Ain't no different God made nobody else. Only thing make people hate and spite each other is condition. I've been around too many different people. I've been dealing. I do too much business every day to be going around acting like that. Act like these poor Moors, squatting in houses and doing all this stuff and making dumb videos and not really making a impact on the world. Because you was a Moor long before this Moorish science stuff, long before Noble Drew Ali. You was a Moor by birth. Now the science aspect, they getting it wrong. This law stuff, they getting it wrong. They are criminals, domestic terrorists. That's what all these brothers are. Domestic, terrorists with fezes on and dumbass Moorish sovereign citizens. And so with that being said, man, I love y'all. I give y'all peace and light, and I hope y'all stay safe. I hope y'all want to come learn and be a part of something. Check us out on Instagram, our burnerbushtabernacle.ts. Check my Instagram page out, moorshaberdasher.com. Check out our temple book company. It's called mypdfbooks.com. That's books with the Z, family. mypdfbooks.com. That's books with the Z. And you can get all books from me, PDF. And go to Office Max and Staples, and they'll print them and bind it for you. Come to class and learn. And I love y'all, man, and peace.